Big Van Vader dies at 63. His son just confirmed it, and the story behind it is a horrible tragedy. On June 18, 2018, the wrestling world lost one of its most fearsome competitors when Leon Allen White passed away after a month-long battle with pneumonia. His son Jesse White broke the heartbreaking news on Twitter, ending the life of a man who had terrified audiences worldwide for decades. This loss was shocking because Vader seemed indestructible. Fans genuinely believed he could kill people in the ring. He was a monster who moved like a cruiserweight despite weighing over 400 pounds. Yet behind that terrifying mask lived one of the nicest guys you'd ever meet. Leon White's journey started in an unexpected place. He wasn't some carnival strongman turned wrestler. White was a legitimate NFL player, drafted by the Los Angeles Rams in 1978 as the 80th overall pick. He even earned an NFC championship ring when the Rams reached the Super Bowl. But football wasn't his destiny. A ruptured patella ended White's NFL dreams before they really began. After spending a season on injured reserve without playing a single down, he was forced into early retirement. That career-ending injury seemed like a tragedy at the time, but it opened the door to something much bigger. Wrestling trainer Brad Rheingans saw potential in the former football player and began molding him into a competitor. White started in the American Wrestling Association as Baby Bull and later Bull Power. These early personas helped him develop his skills, but they were nothing compared to what was coming. When he traveled to Japan, everything changed. New Japan Pro Wrestling gave him a mask, distinctive headgear, and a new identity that would become legendary. On March 22, 1987, Big Van Vader made his explosive debut by defeating Antonio Inoki in under 3 minutes. The victory was so shocking and dominant that it sparked an actual riot in the arena. Japanese fans had never seen anything like this foreign monster who could move with such speed and power. That night, Vader established himself as a force unlike anything wrestling had ever seen. What made Vader special wasn't just his size or his mask. At over 400 pounds, he could execute moves that seemed impossible. His moonsault became legendary because nobody that big should have been able to flip backwards off the top rope. It defied everything fans thought they knew about big men in wrestling. Vader's style was brutally realistic when wrestling was becoming more theatrical. When he threw a punch, it connected hard. When he delivered a powerbomb, opponents felt every pound of impact. He brought an authenticity that couldn't be manufactured. His global dominance proved how special he was. Vader became the first foreigner to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, breaking cultural barriers in Japan's wrestling scene. He simultaneously held world titles on 3 continents, becoming champion in Japan, Europe, and Mexico at the same time. Vader proved that a compelling character could transcend national boundaries in different wrestling philosophies. American fans got their first real taste of Vader when he joined World Championship Wrestling. His feuds with Sting, Ric Flair, and others showcased his devastating power. But his realistic style came with serious consequences. Sting suffered cracked ribs and a ruptured spleen after taking a Vader bomb. Mick Foley called him the stiffest wrestler he'd ever faced. Foley suffered multiple concussions from their brutal encounters, describing how Vader would pummel opponents for real. Nikita Koloff's career ended because of injuries sustained in matches with Vader. The most tragic incident involved Joe Thurman, whose back was broken in 2 places during a mistimed powerbomb. Thurman was temporarily paralyzed, and his wrestling dreams ended forever. These weren't accidents caused by carelessness. Vader's commitment to realism meant every move had to look and feel genuine. Backstage after the Thurman incident, people saw Vader crying, showing that despite his monstrous persona, he was human underneath. Vader's own toughness became the stuff of legend. During a match with Stan Hansen in Japan, Vader's left eye was accidentally dislodged from its socket. Instead of stopping the match, he pushed his eye back into place and continued fighting. The incident required surgery and a metal plate placement under his eye, but it solidified his reputation as one of the toughest men in the industry. When Vader joined the World Wrestling Federation in 1996, expectations were enormous. His Royal Rumble debut created massive buzz, and feuds with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker seemed destined for greatness, but politics derailed his push. Shawn Michaels reportedly disliked working with Vader's stiff style and convinced company officials that Vader wasn't the right choice for a championship run. The Kuwait incident perfectly captured Vader's intensity. When a TV host questioned wrestling's legitimacy, Vader completely lost control and assaulted him, leading to his arrest. His unwillingness to play political games or adapt to entertainment-focused wrestling limited his potential at the sport's highest level. The real tragedy was happening inside Leon White's body. Years of punishment were taking their toll in ways fans couldn't see. Chronic knee problems plagued him throughout his wrestling career, requiring 5 surgeries in just 2 years. A re-injured knee forced him to lose the WCW World Championship and undergo surgery in 1992. The physical demands led to a painkiller addiction that changed Vader's behavior and created emotional instability. His childhood in a home marked by alcohol-fueled violence had already shaped his toughness, but now prescription drugs were destroying the man behind the mask. In November 2016, after a car accident left him unconscious for 35 minutes, doctors delivered devastating news. White was diagnosed with congestive heart failure and given just 2 years to live. Though he later received a more optimistic second opinion, the initial diagnosis was a wake-up call about his mortality. White underwent open-heart surgery in March 2018, followed by another procedure to treat an arrhythmia. Despite these interventions, his body continued failing. About a month before his death, he developed severe pneumonia. After a month-long hospitalization, his heart finally gave out on June 18, 2018, at age 63. Fellow wrestler Sting provided support during White's final months, showing the genuine friendships that existed behind wrestling's competitive facade. The man who had been described as one of the nicest people you'd ever meet was remembered fondly by those who knew him personally. Vader's death highlighted wrestling's brutal physical demands. Studies show significantly higher mortality rates for wrestlers compared to the general male population. The extreme physical nature, lack of off-seasons, high workloads, and historical drug culture all contribute to these tragic statistics. But Vader's legacy transcends his tragic ending. He fundamentally changed what people believed was possible for a super heavyweight performer. Young wrestlers with size are no longer limited to traditional big man roles because Vader proved they could push boundaries. Industry legends like Jim Ross called him the most amazing super heavyweight ever. His critical success was undeniable. Vader was named Wrestler of the Year by both Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Wrestling Observer Newsletter in 1993. His early induction into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame in 1996 proved his immediate impact among critics. Peers consistently recognized his formidable presence, with Chris Jericho noting that few villains were tougher or more dangerous. What made Vader's legacy unique was how it was earned through authentic performances rather than marketing campaigns. He never had action figures or lunchboxes during his prime. His most influential work happened in Japan, far from American television audiences that typically determine wrestling stardom. In an era when wrestling's predetermined nature was becoming widely acknowledged, Vader brought authenticity that couldn't be faked. Fans genuinely believed he could seriously hurt people, and they were actually scared during his matches. This legitimacy created something rare in professional wrestling, a sense of real danger that modern wrestling struggles to replicate. His posthumous induction into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2022 provided long overdue recognition of his global achievements. The induction bridged the gap between his international success and mainstream American wrestling acknowledgement. Leon Allen White's story is ultimately one of contrasts. The terrifying monster in the ring was actually a gentle, kind person who was always nice to kids and fans. His extraordinary toughness and commitment to authenticity made him legendary, but those same qualities contributed to his physical destruction. The warrior mentality that made him great also prevented him from seeking the medical help that might have extended his life. Vader proved that despite wrestling's evolution into entertainment-focused spectacle, fans still crave genuine intensity and physical credibility. His ability to blur the lines between performance and reality created a timeless appeal that continues to influence wrestlers today. Though his body ultimately betrayed him, his impact on professional wrestling remains unforgettable and profound.